In the beginning, before there was time or life as we know it, there was only silence, a deep, boundless void. The universe as we see it today had not yet come to be. There were no stars in the sky, no oceans on the earth, not even the faintest flicker of light. All was silent. All was still. But within that silence, there was something more. A presence, waiting to bring purpose and order from the stillness. A voice, powerful and eternal, spoke into the vastness, ready to turn emptiness into beauty, chaos into balance. With a single command, creation begins. This is not a tale of randomness or chance. It is a story of purpose, a divine blueprint where every element, from the sky above to the land below, is crafted with intention to reflect perfect harmony. Welcome to Bible Stories That Grow Your Faith. Today we're diving into an awe-inspiring story, the creation of the sky, the sea, and the land, each crafted with divine purpose and balance. This story is more than a simple creation account. It's a revelation of God's divine order and love for His creation. You won't want to miss a moment, so make sure to watch until the end as we uncover how each element, the heavens, the waters, and the earth below, was designed to reflect God's perfect harmony. By the end, you'll see creation in a way that can deepen your own faith and understanding of God's purpose for our world. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others who want to grow their faith. Now, let's step into the quiet, expectant moment before the beginning of time itself, when everything was about to change. Part 1. The separation of waters and formation of the sky. And so, the voice of God echoes over the waters, bringing purpose to the stillness, life to the emptiness. He speaks, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." With this command, the sky is born, a majestic, endless vault that spans across the heavens, hinting at eternity. This was not merely empty space, but a gift, holding the promise of light and shelter for all that was to come. Reflective lesson: the sky as a reflection of God's infinity. As we look upon the vastness of the sky, we are reminded of God's endless presence. The sky stretches beyond our sight, hinting at God's infinite power, His wisdom, and His timeless nature. Just as the sky is boundless, so is God's care and love for His creation. The very act of creating the heavens speaks of a God who is both powerful and gentle, present in every moment, yet far beyond our comprehension. Reflective questions to ask: when I look at the sky, do I take time to recognize it as a reflection of God's majesty? How often do I pause to consider His limitless presence in my life? Do I trust in God's care for me, even when I can't see His plan clearly? How can the boundless sky remind me of His faithfulness in every season? Are there areas in my life where I'm limiting God, doubting that He can work in boundless ways? How might I learn to trust more deeply in His infinite power and love? Part 2. Symbolism of the sky. The sky, vast, blue, and endless, would forever symbolize God's unbounded presence, an invitation to look beyond ourselves to the Creator who watches over us. Each morning, the light in the sky would remind humanity of God's faithfulness, and each night, the stars would speak of His quiet watchfulness, a guardian over His creation. Reflective lesson on dependence and trust. The sky, created as a shelter and a source of provision, reminds us that our lives, too, are held by God's design. Just as the atmosphere protects the earth, God is a shield, a constant presence above us. This gift of the sky shows that He has not only created us, but sustains us with purpose and care. Reflective questions. How often do I pause to acknowledge God's protection over my life? Do I thank Him for the ways He shields and sustains me? Am I willing to trust God as my shelter in times of need, or do I try to take everything on myself? How can I rest more fully in His care? What areas in my life might I need to surrender to God's guidance, allowing Him to be my protector and provider, just as He shelters the earth? Part 3. Function and purpose of the sky. The sky was created not just for beauty, but to give life, to shield, to nourish. Each cloud would bring rain, each ray of light, warmth, sustaining every living thing. The heavens above would provide everything the earth below needed to flourish, a sign of God's provision. Reflective lesson on receiving provision. Just as the earth receives what it needs from the heavens, we are called to trust in God's provision. The sky's role in sustaining creation teaches us that God's care is constant, His resources unlimited. When we trust and receive from Him, we are strengthened to grow, just as the earth is renewed by rain. Reflective questions. Am I open to receiving what God has for me, or do I resist His help? How might I learn to trust in His provision more fully? Do I recognize God's provision in the small things, like the rain that nourishes the earth? How can I practice gratitude for the daily blessings He provides? In times of need, do I turn to God as my source, or do I rely on my own strength? How can I shift my focus to depend on His endless care? In these simple cycles, clouds forming, rain falling, rivers flowing, God's order is on display. Just as creation was designed to thrive in balance, so too are we. When we live in harmony with God's design, our lives flow with peace and purpose. The balance within the sky, the clouds, and the rain is a reminder that God calls us to live in alignment with His will. Reflective questions. Is my life in balance with God's design, or are there areas where I'm out of alignment with His will? How can I work to bring my life into harmony with His purpose for me? Do I see balance as a way of honoring God, embracing both work and rest, giving and receiving? How might I live with more intentionality, reflecting the balance God has placed in creation? Are there parts of my life that I need to let go of, allowing God's natural order to take over, just as the earth relies on the cycles of rain and growth? Part 4. Gathering of waters and the creation of seas. Once more, God's voice echoes over the face of the deep, and with a word He commands the waters to gather. Let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear. The waters collect, gathering into seas, lakes, and rivers, each one forming natural boundaries across the earth. These waters would hold power and mystery, providing life, but also keeping their secrets hidden in the depths. Imagine the power it takes to command the oceans, to place boundaries on the seas. In this single act, we see a glimpse of God's authority and His intention for a world in balance. In this act of creation, God brought forth order, establishing boundaries between sea and land. The seas became a defining feature of the earth, both powerful and obedient to their Creator's command. They remind us that while they may be vast, their limits are set by divine authority. A sign of God's meticulous design. The seas not only hold beauty and power, but also serve as a natural boundary, a reminder that creation, though mighty, is balanced and contained by the wisdom of God. Reflective lesson on boundaries. As God sets the boundaries for the seas, we're reminded that even the most powerful forces in creation are designed to work within limits. Boundaries aren't restrictions, they are part of God's intentional design. Just as the seas thrive within their God-given boundaries, so too does our life flourish when we live within the structure and balance God provides. Reflective questions. What boundaries have I set in my own life to protect my peace, purpose, and spiritual health? Are there areas in my life where I'm pushing against God's natural boundaries? How might respecting these limits bring me greater peace and fulfillment? Do I see boundaries as limitations or as opportunities for growth and focus? How might shifting my perspective help me thrive within God's design? Part 5. Purpose and significance of the seas. The seas, mysterious and deep, became a sanctuary for life, teeming with creatures of every kind, each one carefully crafted, each part of a delicate, thriving ecosystem. From the smallest fish to the largest whale, all find their home in the sea, a reflection of God's creativity and His care for every form of life. But the seas were not just places of beauty. They were designed to provide. They would feed life on land, connect lands and peoples, and offer resources to sustain generations to come. In every wave and current, there was a purpose, a divine order woven into the fabric of creation. Reflective lesson on provision and generosity. In creating the seas as places of abundance, God provides a powerful reminder of His generosity and care. Every drop of water, every wave, and every life within the ocean reflects God's thoughtful provision. Just as the seas offer food, beauty, and mystery to the world, God offers us what we need in each season of life. When we remember this provision, it becomes easier to trust in His care and timing. Reflective questions. Where in my life can I see God's provision and generosity at work? Am I taking time to acknowledge and thank Him for it? Am I trusting God to provide for my needs, or am I trying to control everything out of fear? How can I let go and trust in His abundance? In what ways might I reflect God's generosity toward others? Are there opportunities to give and serve in my life, mirroring His care for me? Part 6. Harmony in diversity. In the depths of the seas, God's creativity shines. From the powerful whale to the smallest plankton, each creature has a place, each one a purpose, all existing in a balanced, structured system. This harmony within the seas reflects a creator who values diversity, a world where every life has meaning. The seas teem with life, each creature part of a greater whole, each movement part of a balanced, sustainable cycle. In this balance, we see a glimpse of God's order, a design where diversity thrives within harmony, a system that is both complex and unified. Reflective lesson on diversity and unity. The diversity within the seas, every creature, ecosystem, and interaction reflects God's appreciation for variety and unity. In His creation, each unique form of life has a role, contributing to a greater harmony. This diversity serves as a lesson in embracing our differences, understanding that each person, like each creature in the sea, has a unique purpose that complements the whole. Reflective questions. Am I celebrating my own uniqueness, or do I struggle with comparing myself to others? How can I embrace my God-given identity? Do I value the diversity in others, recognizing their differences as strengths? How can I learn from and appreciate those around me? How might I contribute to the harmony and unity of the communities I'm part of? Am I using my unique strengths to serve a greater purpose? Part 7. The role of water in nurturing life on land. The waters did not remain in the seas alone. God designed rivers and streams to flow from the oceans and lakes, carving paths for the earth, nourishing the land, sustaining all living things. Water became a source of life, a gentle, persistent presence connecting the seas to the land. In these rivers and streams, God's provision is made visible. Water sustains the earth, filling lakes, feeding plants, nurturing animals and humans alike. This is more than a cycle of nature. It is an act of divine care, a provision that flows unceasingly, sustaining all that it touches. And as rivers flow back to the sea, the cycle of life continues, a reminder of the Creator's design, where all things are connected, where everything has its place. This cycle of water reflects God's perfect order, a balance that sustains life and keeps creation thriving. When we live in alignment with His design, our lives flow with a similar peace, purpose, and balance. Reflective lesson on connection and provision. As the rivers flow from the seas to the land, bringing life to every corner of the earth, we see a powerful message of connection. God designed creation to be interdependent, each part nurturing the other. In the same way, God's provision reaches us, flowing into our lives in times and places we least expect. Our challenge is to recognize and receive this provision with gratitude, trusting that He is working for our good. Reflective questions. Do I allow myself to rely on others, or do I feel the need to be self-sufficient? How might embracing connection and support bring greater strength to my life? In what ways do I see God's provision in my own journey? How often do I stop to thank Him for what He's given me? Am I open to God's provision, even when it arrives in ways I don't expect? How can I stay attentive to the unexpected blessings in my life? Am I living with a sense of purpose, or am I drifting aimlessly? How can I begin to align my life more closely with God's intentions for me? Are there areas of my life where I resist God's guidance, perhaps wanting control or my own way? How might surrendering bring me into greater alignment with His purpose? How can I contribute to the world around me in meaningful ways, ensuring that my life flows in harmony with God's larger design? Part 8. Emergence of land and the diversity of creation. And God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." As the words echo through creation, land emerges from beneath the seas, a solid, stable foundation laid out before us, ready to nurture life in all its forms. This new land, formed by God's Word, would soon burst forth with life. It was a canvas prepared by the Creator, upon which a diverse tapestry of plants and animals would soon flourish. Reflective lesson on stability and growth. The emergence of land symbolizes stability and foundation, essential qualities that allow life to thrive. Just as land provides a stable ground for physical life, our spiritual lives also need a solid foundation. This foundation is built on our relationship with God, allowing us to grow and flourish in all areas of our lives. Reflective questions. What is the foundation of my life currently built on? Am I rooted in something solid like the land, or am I still searching for stable ground? How does having a solid spiritual foundation affect my growth and stability in life's turbulent times? What steps can I take to strengthen my foundation in God, ensuring that it is strong enough to support growth and withstand challenges? Part 9. Symbolism of land. From the highest mountain to the deepest valley, each form of land serves a unique purpose, just as each of us has a unique role in God's creation. The diversity of the land reflects the diversity of life, each part essential, each contributing to the whole. Reflective lesson on diversity and purpose. The diversity of the land teaches us that variety is a part of God's design. Just as different landscapes support different types of life, different people with their unique abilities and purposes enrich our community and our world. Embracing this diversity means recognizing the value of each person's unique contribution to God's plan. Reflective questions. Do I appreciate the diversity around me, or do I find myself wishing everyone were more alike? How can I better embrace and learn from the diversity of people and experiences God has placed in my life? What unique qualities do I bring to my community? How can I use these to fulfill God's purpose? Part 10. Human Connection to Land. As the land becomes a home for humanity, it offers not only sustenance, but also a place for growth and civilization. Land is not just a physical space, it's a vital part of our human journey, providing for our needs and inspiring our dreams. Reflective lesson on stewardship and connection. The land's role in our lives reminds us of our duty to care for God's creation. As stewards of the earth, we are called to nurture and protect the land that sustains us. This responsibility is a sacred trust from God, reflecting our connection to Him and to the world He has given us. Reflective questions. How am I caring for the environment around me? Do I see this as a part of my spiritual duty? In what ways can I improve how I interact with and protect the land and resources I use daily? What does the land teach me about God's provision and my role within His creation? As we witness the land's bounty and beauty, we see a reflection of God's love for us, a constant reminder that He has provided a world rich with resources meant to be enjoyed and cherished. Part 11. Interdependence of sky, sea, and land. As we have seen the sky formed to shelter, the seas gathered to nourish, and the land emerged to sustain, we now witness the beautiful symphony of their interdependence. Each element, while distinct, plays a vital role in sustaining the cycle of life on Earth. This ongoing cycle, where clouds form from ocean waters, rain nourishes the land, and rivers return water to the sea, demonstrates the perfection of God's creation. Each component supports the others, a flawless system designed for continuous renewal and sustenance. Reflective lesson on interdependence and cooperation. The interdependence of sky, sea, and land teaches us about the importance of cooperation and support in our own lives. Just as these elements work together to maintain balance in life, we too are called to live in harmony with one another, supporting and enriching each other's lives. Reflective questions. In what ways do I depend on others and others depend on me? How can I improve these relationships to foster mutual support? Am I contributing positively to my community, helping to create an environment where everyone can thrive? How can observing the natural world's balance inspire me to seek more sustainable ways of living that respect and preserve our interconnected world? Part 12. Unity in diversity. Within each ecosystem, a wide array of life forms coexists, each dependent on the other, yet each uniquely contributing to the whole. This diversity within unity mirrors God's vision for humanity, a community where differences strengthen rather than divide. Each season, each element in nature has its purpose, its time to contribute to life's tapestry. This natural order reflects God's intention for our lives. Each of us has a season and a purpose within its grand design. Understanding the harmony in nature can inspire us to seek harmony in our lives. By aligning our actions with God's purposes, we can live more fulfilling lives, making meaningful contributions to the world around us. Reflective lesson on valuing diversity. The harmony we observe in nature's ecosystems teaches us to value diversity in our own lives. By embracing each other's differences, we can create a stronger, more resilient community, just as diverse ecosystems are often the most robust. Reflective questions. Do I appreciate the diverse talents and backgrounds of those around me, or do I resist differences? How can I learn from others who are different from me to enhance my own understanding and growth? What steps can I take to foster unity within diversity in my community? What is my purpose in this season of my life? How can I align it more closely with God's intentions? Am I allowing the natural rhythm of life to guide my actions, or am I resisting the flow of God's timing? How can I better harmonize my personal goals with the needs of my community and the wider world? As we reflect on the interdependence and harmony of sky, sea, and land, let us seek to embody these principles in our own lives. May we strive to live in balance, appreciating and nurturing the world God has entrusted to us. Reflections on the meaning of order and balance in life. As we've journeyed through the story of creation, from the vast expanse of the sky to the deep mysteries of the seas and the solid ground of the land, we've seen a divine pattern emerge, a pattern of order, balance, and purpose. Each element of creation, meticulously designed, works together to form a harmonious whole. This harmony in nature is not by chance, but by divine design. It teaches us about the potential for balance in our own lives and in the world around us. Reflective lesson on spiritual order and personal balance. Observing the order in creation can inspire us to seek similar balance in our lives between work and rest, giving and receiving, speaking and listening. By striving for this balance, we reflect the divine order, enhancing our well-being and deepening our relationships. Reflective questions. Where in my life do I need to restore balance? How might imitating the balance found in nature help me achieve this? What areas of my life are currently out of alignment with God's design? How can I make adjustments to better reflect His order? In what ways can I practice being more attentive to maintaining spiritual, emotional, and physical balance each day? Heart 14, Spiritual Symbolism in Creation. The sky, with its vastness, encourages us to have broad visions and high hopes. The sea, with its depth, reminds us of the profound mysteries of life and faith. And the land, with its stability, offers us a place to stand firm and build our lives. Reflective lesson on symbolism and meaning. Each element of creation holds deeper spiritual meanings that can guide us. By reflecting on these symbols, we can gain insights into God's character and His plans for us, encouraging us to explore deeper relationships with Him. Reflective questions. How do the symbols of sky, sea, and land speak to my current spiritual journey? What aspects of God's character are most meaningful to me right now, and how can I draw closer to Him through these reflections? How can I use the natural world as a continual reminder of God's presence in His teachings? Celebrating God's mastery of creation and engaging our community. As our journey through the story of creation comes to a close, we are left in awe of the precision, beauty, and wisdom of God's design. Each element, from the boundless sky to the mysterious depths of the seas to the solid earth beneath our feet, speaks of a Creator who is not only immensely powerful, but infinitely loving. Here at Bible Stories That Grow Your Faith, we are committed to bringing you content that enriches, inspires, and deepens your understanding of God's Word and His incredible creation. If you found this video enlightening and uplifting, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue to produce content that can make a difference in your life and in the lives of others around the world. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and share it with friends and family who might also appreciate these reflections. Your engagement helps spread the word and build a community that cherishes spiritual growth and understanding. And we want to hear from you. What did you learn today? How has this journey through creation touched or changed your perspective? Leave your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We love to read your insights and stories, and your input enriches our community's experience. As we continue to explore the depth of faith and the richness of God's Word, remember that each story we share is an invitation to grow, to learn, and to experience faith in new and profound ways. Join us next time as we uncover more about the power of belief and the beauty of spiritual life. Thank you for watching Bible Stories that Grow Your Faith. Until next time, keep nurturing your spirit, keep seeking truth, and keep growing in your faith. God bless.